C.3 Functions with Timeout. For this part, we will learn another commonly used feature in functions. We need to use the knowledge we learned in the previous video, part C.2, to understand this feature. All right. The topic, window set timeout method. We know window is the global object. If we use the DOM, document object model concept, window is at the very top of the tree, because DOM is represented using a tree structure. Window object is at the very top. Okay, so we learned that before. All right, how to use this method? So using this method, we can call a function or evaluate an expression. Okay, but after a specified number of milliseconds. This is the special feature of this method. It's not like a usual method. When we call it, it executes immediately. But this one, we can delay certain amount of time, then start execution. That feature is useful. Sometimes we need that. Okay, so that's why for this part, I want to show you several examples, explain the special feature of this method. All right. Our first example, Displaytext.html. So it is very simple. So I just describe it and show you the screenshot. If the example is a little more complicated, so then I will show you the demo. So this one, when we display some text, we want to delay a few seconds. So let you see, the effect, that special effect. Sometimes you may need it in your web applications. So look at this JavaScript part, inside a function. So we have this key statements. First, we get an object representing element with ID txt in this HTML file. So I do not show you the whole file. I just take the main part. After you get this object, so now you call the set timeout function, and we call it 3 times, first, second, and third. How do we call it? The first parameter of this method, look at this. What is this? Now we can use what we learned last time. It is called a function expression. So based on what we learned last time, we use a function expression to define this function. Okay, and this function expression is anonymous. There is no name for it. Okay, so anonymous. Okay, because it's anonymous, there is no name, so we cannot use the name to refer to it, right? So you can see when we call 3 times, we need to copy this function 3 times, right? So that's not efficient. Okay, if you need to call it 100 times, you need to copy it 100 times. So that's not good. So our next version, I want to improve this. First, let's just understand this first version. All right. So after we define this function as the first parameter of the set timeout method, the second parameter, the number of milliseconds. Remember, the unit we use milliseconds. 2,000 milliseconds. That's just 2 seconds. Okay, 2 seconds. So the first statement here, set timeout statement, it means we need to delay 2 seconds. Then we call this function. When we call this function, x.value, this object, x is the object pointing to that element, dot value equals 2 seconds. So you see a text field, then its value changes to 2 seconds. Oh, so you wait 2 seconds, then you see this message, okay, this text. Then the second set timeout statement. Now you wait 4 seconds, including this second. So 2 more seconds, right? Yeah, because including that 2 seconds. Yeah, that one. Right. Yeah, so 2 more, because based on my estimate, it looks like the interval 2 seconds. So then you see 4 seconds, the message. Text changes to 4 seconds. Another 2 more seconds, so you see 6 seconds. Okay, so then you're done. Okay. That simple feature. Okay. All right. So the example is very simple. Now we want to learn how to use this timeout, set timeout method, syntax. The syntax, a little more than what we used here. Set timeout, first parameter, the function object, the function variable, function object. Remember the last time we treat function as an object, as a variable. So we pass the function object, function variable as a parameter to this method. So that's how we understand how to use this feature. Then number of milliseconds. All right. After that, the remaining part, you can see we didn't use it in our first example. Parameter 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's that? Why parameters? Right? Why parameters? Because think about it. When you call this function sometimes may have parameters. Right? Yeah. Some functions may have parameters. Sometimes you need to pass parameters to certain functions. When you have that situation, how to pass? Because here, you only pass the function name. You pass the variable representation of that function. You don't have chance to pass the parameters. You don't have the chance, right? So for that reason, if you need to pass parameters, we use this remaining part. After the first 2 parameters, the remaining parameters, then you have chance to pass parameters. All right. So in my second version, I use this. So I improve my first version and give you my improved version, and I can show you how to use these parameters. All right. My next version, Displaytext 2. So I modified Displaytext.html. How do I modify? So here, first, I do not want to use this anonymous function expression. I want to use the declaration way to define a function in that way. So I have a function name for it. Okay? I have a variable object name for that function. Okay? Yeah. So look at the first part. I define a function called Displaytext function. In this function, I have 2 parameters. First, element, I want to pass the element object as the first parameter. Second, the text message I want to show in this element. Okay. Inside, I just call element.value equals that text variable. That simple. All right, so now I have this function defined with variable name. So yeah, based on our understanding last time, display text we treated as the variable name because the function is defined, then assigned to this variable based on our understanding last time, right? So this we treat it as a variable. Store this function. Okay? That stores this function. Yeah. All right. Now, the timed text, this time we get the element object. Okay? Then set timeout. So this time we do not copy that code, same code, multiple times. We just used variable name. Display text, the first parameter, we pass the variable name to set timeout method. Right? Yeah. But when you pass to it, you do not have chance to pass parameters. Just the variable name, you do not have chance to pass parameters, but we need to pass 2 parameters. All right, so after milliseconds, after that, we have chance to pass variables. The first one corresponds to Alan. This is our X object. Okay, Alan. Yeah. Then the text part corresponds to the second parameter. So in this way, we call set timeout 3 times in this way. So you can see this improved version better than the original version. Yeah. And we also learn how to use the same set timeout method with parameters. All right, so that is this example. Here I show you the screenshot. The screenshot is very simple, just like this. Okay. At the beginning, when you start, you do not see the text here. It's blank. Okay. Yeah. So this is the display element. Okay. So this text input field display element. All right. Then you click this button, display time. Click this button. Then the function is called. Okay. Timed text. This function is called. Then you wait 2 seconds. Then you see 2 seconds text here. You wait another 2 seconds. You see 4 seconds. Then another 2 seconds. You see 6 seconds. Then the last state. So I put here. Yeah. So you can test it by yourself. Yeah. All right. So let's move to next example. All right. Let's look at a few more examples. We try to understand a little better. In this example, it's called a pop win gun. So what's that? So we pop a window. Yeah. Then when we wait some time, the window dismissed. Okay, yeah. So we do not want to display that small window forever. So we want to kill it after display some message. All right. So let's look at that example. So this function, open win function, we do this. We use window.open method to open another small window. Okay? So we specify 200 pixels width, 100 pixels height, a very small window. Okay, all right. The first parameter, nothing, blank. Usually we should pass URL, because when you open a window, you want to display a URL, a web page through that URL. Here we don't want to display web page, so we pass nothing, blank, to that URL location. Okay, all right. My window, so this is supposed to be the name of your window. So you can set a window in different names. Here, this is the name. Yeah, but sometimes you can use different names, but with some special names, there are some special meanings. Yeah. But in this example, we don't use that part. Yeah. All right. So then the size of the window. So after you open that window, you want to display some content inside that window. So here we use this. My window, that object, .document.write, that the content you want to display in that window. Okay, so you see that. Yeah. After that, you call set timeout. When you call set timeout, the function, so this time you use this function expression. In this function expression, you close that window. My window.close. So you kill that window. But you want to display for 3 seconds, then kill it. So that's simple. Okay, yeah. So the example I include, so I will give you the zip file containing all the examples for this part, so you can run it by yourself. Okay. So here I do not show the demo, yeah, because very straightforward. Yeah. The syntax, I explained a little bit. Open the first parameter URL part. Second, the name part. Then specs. So that's the, the size, related to the size. Yeah. Details, so you can search the, the syntax detail expressions. So here I do not need to explain that. Yeah. You just know you can do this feature. But when you really need to use this feature, you can easily find online document. So try to use it precisely. Yeah. Yeah. All right. So that is this simple example. Yeah. The next one, another commonly used example using the set timeout feature. So that is the digital clock example. So this one, we show a digital clock. The time keep changing. Yeah. So you see the, second, minute, hour, number keep changing. Okay. Yeah. All right. Oh, yeah. I need to explain this one. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So when you click it, you just see the, the time display, typical time display in digital style. So you use the date object, new date, the current time, today. Okay. So then you retrieve the hour number, get hours, get minutes, minute numbers, and second numbers. After that, you want to reformulate minutes and second part, because you want to add a 0 in front of, if single digit, you want to make the 2-digit expression. So that's why if you detect that single digit number less than 10, so you want to put a 0 to it. So here we define another function, check time function. We do that. So we detect and add an extra 0 in front of the single digit number. All right. After that, now we are ready to display the time. So when we display, we get the displaying element, okay, using its ID. Then inner HTML, we change its content. The content, So we use this format of string. So that's the standard digital clock expression. Yeah. After that, now the most important line of this example, set timeout. This set timeout example. Yeah. Okay. The first parameter, anonymous function expression, we call set timeout recursively. Okay? Because when you call, it has the chance to display the current time. Every 500 milliseconds, you refresh it, you recall it. Okay? So every 5 milliseconds, you call this function. Okay? So this function calls itself recursively. So it keeps calling itself recursively. Every time it calls itself, it displays the current time. So that's why you see the time keeps changing and update the current time. Okay? Yeah. So very simple. Yeah. You can imagine. So here I do not show you the demo. Yeah. All right. Next, I want to show you another example. So this example, based on my own experience, sometimes I need to show temporary error message. So why temporary? Why not permanent? Yeah. So when I develop a web application before, yeah, so I feel I need this feature. So why is that? Because usually when we display an error message, we use the red color, right? Red color. So we want to give the users some warning impression. Yeah. So when the user see red sentence, something must be wrong. Okay. So they get alert. So they try to see what's the problem and they try to fix it. Yeah. So that's the usual way we use error message. Yeah. But usually when we display a error message, it stays there until you change the page, right? If you do not change the page, it stays there forever. Yeah. But that may not be good, yeah, because the user always see that before, because if they need to do something to fix it, it takes some time, but they always see the error message. So that, based on the psychology, so they may not feel that comfortable, right? So that's why I think, can I display the error message for a short period of time, then it disappears, okay? Because the user, after they see that message, it's enough, okay? So they just work in a normal condition, okay? Yeah. So that is my consideration based on my experience. All right, so now let's implement that feature here. Yeah. Set timeout. So we want to do that. Yeah. How to do it? Make the error message disappear after 3 seconds. So we just display the red sentence 3 seconds, then we remove it. Okay, so that's simple. Yeah. How to do it? Yeah. In this example, error msg.html. Yeah. Here, I just show you the screenshot, so I do not jump there, and play. Yeah. First, we create an element to display the error message. Okay, yeah. We use the red color. The font color is red. Yeah. So that's the typical way we display the error message. Yeah. Then our functions. All right. Let's remove error message. Okay. Very simple. Remove error message. So we change the content of this element. We get ID of that element. The content we replace whatever error message it is by nothing, empty string, nothing. Yeah. Then it's gone. So you don't see that red sentence after this function is called. But this remove, this eraser, this function, we need to wait 3 seconds, then we call it. So now you know it is useful. Delay certain number of seconds, then we call some special function. This feature is useful in this situation. Okay? All right, so show temp error function. First, we display our formal error message. This is a temporary error message, for a message. Okay, display in this element. Then set timeout. Okay, the function we pass it as a variable name. Remove error MSG 3000 milliseconds, 3 seconds. Then it's gone. Okay, so that's simple. Yeah. So you can see, so this feature, so simple, just a few lines. Yeah, just a few lines. Yeah. All right. So let's see the screenshot. All right, so when you start, you do not see the error message. Okay, so when you start, so no such message. Okay, yeah. Then you click the button, show error message. Then you see it. Okay, you see it. Yeah. All right. Then you wait 3 seconds, it's gone. Okay, yeah, it is removed. Yeah. So that's enough. So we expect our users have seen this error message. So we want to recover to the normal working state. Okay, so make our users feel comfortable to work. Okay, yeah, so that's the design purpose of this feature. Yeah. All right, so we complete this example. Yeah. So you can run it by yourself. Okay, all right, so here I do not need to show you. All right. Our last example today. So what's that? It's called an image slideshow. I think most of you have seen this kind of thing many, many times when you surf the web. Very common image slideshow, right? Yeah. Scrolling, every a few seconds you see a new image. Okay, new picture. Yeah. So just like a slideshow. Yeah. With this method, set timeout, we can do that easily. Right? So here, I want to show you that simple example. Yeah. Okay. So that's our last example. Because this example is a little more complicated than the previous a few examples. So I like to show you the demo. So then when we discuss the code, so you can connect to our demo, so that will help our understanding of many features. Yeah. So the example is called Alaska Slides.html. Yeah. So in my zip file, you can find it. In my zip file, I give you a folder, yeah, because for this example, you need multiple images. So I like to put in the image folder. Yeah. Other than that, I also play some music as the background music. Okay. So I also need to include that music file, audio file. So that's why I put in a folder. Yeah. So then you get into the folder. So you click HTML file, you can play. Yeah. All right. So let me show you that first. Yeah. All right. Yeah. So when I start, yeah, I'm show you the folder first. Alaska Slides. Let me double click this file. Yeah, well, not very sensitive. Oh, yeah, playing. Yeah, see, image slide, right? Yeah, but does not automatically play, so I need to play it. Yeah, so the background music. Yeah. Every a few seconds, you see a different image, yeah, slideshow, and background music. Okay, that simple feature. Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. But in my original example, I want to set automatic play, music play, but I tried many ways because this is an old example I used many years ago. When I use it, yeah, probably about 10 years ago, almost, yeah. That long time ago, when I used that, the old browsers could do that automatically. But now the new browsers, I think it disabled autoplay. Yeah. At least for this example, I can never make it do autoplay. So I need to click the play button to play it. Anyway, I can try to find a way to fix it. Yeah, but it may take some time. Anyway, I just give you this example first. All right, so let me stop the play, and we go back to learn the code. All right, here, So let's learn the code first, piece by piece. Now, in your mind, you know what we're talking about, right? The image part, slideshow part, and a music part. Okay, music part very easy. Yeah. So mainly we focus on the image slideshow part. Yeah. All right. At the beginning, we need to prepare data structure to store the data. Yeah. To play the images, we use array. Yeah. At this point, so far, I haven't shown you using the JavaScript arrays. So in this example, we have chance to use arrays. Yeah. We need to use two arrays. Yeah. First, when we play, select one of the images to display it, we need a variable, integer variable. So slide num variable. Okay, from 0 to 7, we have 8 images. So from index from 0 to 7. Yeah. So we use this variable to control current image index number in the array. Yeah. After that, we need the image slides this array to store the image location and the file names. So we need a list of image file names, including the location, path, that information. Okay. Then we also show a title. Yeah. For each image, when you see it, there is a title on top of it. Okay. So we need to display that one. So we need another array, store strings. Yeah. So that's the data structure part. Yeah. Pretty straightforward. After that, the values for the elements in these two arrays. Here I assign, in a hard-coded way, because only 8 images. I just make 8 assignments. All right, image index array element index 0, location and file name. Okay, next one and ... because I do not need to give you all 8 element values. No, I just skip it, those remaining elements. For the titles, I just show you first 2 titles and remaining. So you can read the code after you download the example. Yeah. All right, so now we have the data. So next, we need to, before I show you the playing part, let me show you the display part first. HTML, we need to display. Yeah, we need the display area. Okay, yeah. So let's look at the display part first. Yeah. First, in the body element, unload. Yeah, that event unload. We need to wait until the whole page loaded. Then we call this start time function. Okay, yeah, doing the animation. Yeah, that part. Yeah, we will see that later. Yeah. Then display part, the title. Yeah, title. This is the title display part. Okay, ID. Give it ID. Okay, I use that center element. Yeah, it is not encouraged. Yeah, remember. So this is an element in HTML, but old HTML, the current one, so actually it is not encouraged to use center. If you want to do the center, the recommended way is using CSS. But why here I still like to use, because it's so easy, right? Center element, we put there, it works. For the CSS, we need to do a lot of things, right? Yeah. So we can do that. We learned the CSS, right? The margin, set the margin auto, right? Yeah. So we did that. And center text alignment, center, right? So we can do that. Yeah. But not as simple as this way. So that's why I take this lazy way. Yeah. Although sometimes people criticize this way. Yeah. You just know. The background of this. Then the image part, okay, I still use the center element, this img element. So this is our slideshow part, okay, yeah. But at the beginning, there is no source value for it, yeah. But our start time function will put that source there. Okay, so you will see it. Yeah. Yeah. After that, there is audio control. So that part. Audio, the music play part. Yeah. So then this is the location and a file name of my audio file. Okay, yeah. So that's the display part. After that, then we look at the start time function. Yeah, also very easy. Yeah. First line, we get the image element. We change to the content, the source value using the array value, the current slide number index. Okay, so we get array value and assign it to this source src attribute. Second one, inner HTML, we use the title array corresponding to this image. See? Yeah. One line, we make the change. Yeah. After that, we change the slide number up, increase by 1. Yeah. Then we want to do rotation, right? Yeah. When you reach the last image, we want to pull it back to the first one. So when that number equals 8, yeah. So get out of bound, right? Yeah. Because the legal number for slide number from 0 to 7. Okay? After you get to 7 plus 1, you get 8 out of bound. So you pull it back to 0 again. So you start rotation from the beginning, another round. All right. After that, set timeout. Okay. Set timeout, you call this function recursively another time, but after 3 seconds, you call it another time. Just like that clock, digital clock. So after a certain amount of time, you call the function recursively another time. Okay? Yeah. So that's simple. Yeah. But some of you may notice this t. Why we use this t, assign it to t? In this example, we do not use this variable t. Okay? We do not use this variable t. But why people still use that t? Because later we want to stop this. Yeah, because this plays forever, right? Yeah. But later, in case so people want to kill this whole feature, they need to use this t to stop it. Otherwise, if you do not assign it to a variable, you can never kill it. Okay? It just keep playing forever. Yeah. You can never kill it. Yeah. All right. So that's all the examples, all the features for this part. Yeah. So we finish it, and we finish the whole part of C. Yeah.